Hi, my name is Paula Swain. I'm a financial planner with the Financial Center for Women. And today we're here to talk with Jeremy Burks, who's a divorce attorney in Southgate, Michigan. Jeremy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Jeremy Burks, again, a divorce attorney for Sove Pendraki and Burks. Our office is located in Southgate.
So let's talk about what assets to have when you're going, like when you're doing the settlement. We have, 401k or IRA assets, and then we might have some non-qualified assets, and then we have assets like your home or business. So how do you determine which assets to take? I mean, ideally 50-50 is great, but some assets have better, um, I'm not sure what the word I want to use, but kind of want to have that mixed up a little bit.
Yes. Uh, Typically, it's a need base. What does the client need as far as cash on hand now to purchase a house or something like that? In that case, I wouldn't advise a client to take nothing but after-tax assets that you're going to have to cash out in order to purchase a house. I do advise my clients who are in a position where this is an issue, where I need to make a determination whether I'm taking pre-tax or after-tax assets. I always advise them to contact a financial planner or somebody to advise them as to their long-term goals with what they want to do with their money. In the divorce, typically we add everything up and divide it by two, and then try to make it as fair as possible by you're taking this and I'm taking that.
Mm-hmm.
But whether the pre-tax or after-tax asset is most beneficial for a client depends on their personal position. Again,
Right.
if you're looking at buying a house, you don't want to take all after-tax or pre-tax assets and then be forced to make a withdrawal from a 401k to put down on that house.
Do you um do you get into the discussion on to keep the house or not? I mean, I do, and I'm like, I know people make decisions like, oh, my kids grew up in this house, and I'm emotionally attached to it. When it's logically makes no sense to keep a house, but so that you're house poor, or do you get into that conversation with people?
Sometimes I do. If I have a client that you can see from the numbers on paper that there's no way that they can afford an asset that they're trying to keep, I will absolutely advise them that, I don't care if you start making $20,000 a year more than you're making right now, you're not going to be able to keep this asset and still pay to have bills on and put food on the table, things of that nature. Sometimes it absolutely does not make sense for a client to keep that asset for those reasons. Other reasons I would advise them against keeping an asset is, they're willing to take a bigger hit towards other assets in order to maintain that something like the marital home. If there's $100,000 worth of equity in the marital home and they're about to give away $200,000 of other assets just to keep the home, at that point I have to advise them it's not in your best interest either.
Yeah, I would advise the same thing. That makes no sense. But a lot of times people make emotional decisions and not logical ones
Absolutely.
when they're going through a divorce. So one of the things that when I work with people, we look at, preparing a budget to make sure that they can afford or what their after divorce life will look like. And one of the things we need to consider is child support and alimony. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay. Child support in Michigan is determined by the Michigan Child Support Formula. The formula is available online through the state of Michigan. You have to punch in some numbers, and it will give you a pretty good idea of what child support should be. That child support figure is primarily based upon income of the parties and the amount of overnight parenting time that the parties get. Spousal support is a totally different entity. There is no formula for spousal support. Spousal support, if you cannot agree with your spouse as to what that will be or for how long, will be determined by the judge, and it varies from case to case and it varies from judge to judge. You can bring your case in front of your judge and get one award, and every other judge downtown will give you a different award than what your judge gave you. So it is
Oh,
very subjective to what the particular judges.
so I guess if you need alimony, you want to hopefully draw the right judge. And that's kind of crazy.
If you're looking for alimony, you want to put your best case forward. It's more on your attorney than it is the judge.
Okay.
Because you want your attorney to be able to present to the judge the need for spousal support and the amount that you need for spousal support, and kind of make it easier for the judge to say, yeah, I agree with your attorney. This is what you should get, and go from there.
Right. I mean, I would think that, if you needed $2,000 to live on and you only had $1,000 coming in, logically it would make sense that you should be awarded that $1,000 if that's the case.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be awarded $3,000.
In addition to your need, the judge also has to look at your spouse's ability to pay. So
Okay.
if you're running a household off of $30,000 budget, and you're now going to be running two households, it's kind of hard for a judge to say, yeah, I'm going to give you 100% of their income to run your household.
Right. Yeah, I get that. It's hard. Yeah. Most people don't think about that you do go from, two incomes down to one, or one person supporting the household, whatever, but you're just going down to having to support yourself. And it does look a lot differently than what your current situation looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you might have to get a second job, or, just to make ends meet. I know it's sad, but sometimes that's the way it happens. I know when I was divorced my first time, I worked 3 jobs just to make sure that everything was taken care of. So I think we've talked about, we've talked about income, we've talked about assets. What else do you think, anything on those 2 subjects that somebody might need to know?
On income and assets?
Yeah.
My biggest advice to clients is to know what's there. You probably wouldn't be surprised to, how many people
yes, I would.
come into my office and, I don't know what's in the bank account.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where do you do your banking? I don't know where we do our banking. What's in the 401? I don't know what's in the 401k. Who did your taxes last year? I don't know. The more you can inform yourself of what is there, again, the easier it will be for your attorney to help you out with these things.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. Even when I sit with my clients today, even in a happily married couple, one tends to know more about the finances than the other. And you need to have weekly conversations with your spouse about where the money is, and what are the passwords and all of those things. So we're going to we're going to cut this right now. So I just want to say thank you to Jeremy. And if anybody has any questions regarding getting ready for a divorce or divorce, feel free to give Jeremy or myself a call. Thank you, Jeremy.
As always, thank you, Paula.